Hi, it's Judith here. How are you sleeping at the moment? How's your sleep been in the last week, the last month, the last year, the last few years? That's our topic for today, sleep, and how extremely important it is. We all have periods of time when we don't sleep as well as normal. And if we're lucky, that stops and we get back to having a good night's sleep. If it goes on for too long, it becomes a habit, and then it's really much harder to get back to sleeping well. And I'm going to talk today about why it matters. It's not just the being a bit tired the next day and having to drink a lot of coffee and maybe being a bit grumpy. It is much, much more serious than that. So let's start with the scary stuff first, and that's the physical stuff. If you go a reasonable period of time without sleeping, it has physical effects. Poor tissue repair, because cell repair happens while you're asleep. Weight gain, skin aging, partly to do with the tissue repair. Accidents, poor judgment when driving, poor balance and coordination, so you're more likely to trip up and break a leg or something. And I'm laughing, but it's no laughing matter, is it? It's not silly. And if the lack of sleep goes on for a significant amount of time, then you're into the real killers. High blood pressure, which leads to heart disease, stroke, diabetes. So if you go for a long period of time, sleeping less than 7 hours a night, even if you're getting 5 or 6, you are doubling your risk of a heart attack, of having cardiovascular problems. You're doubling your risk of dying. Now that's the same as a smoker. So in terms of these effects, you might as well be smoking 20, 40 a day, because you're getting the same result if your sleep disturbance is long term. But there aren't just physical effects, there are mental effects. So your memory is affected, both your short and your long-term memory, because again, during sleep, we process the day, we lay down memories, we move things from short-term to long-term memory. And that's important. So you get poor consolidation of memories and poor learning skills. So it's incredibly important if you're engaged in learning anything, or if you have teenagers doing exams, sleep is really important. Poor judgment, I mentioned it before in terms of accidents, but your decision making is poor as well, just in general. So you may make key life decisions that are not perhaps the best decisions you could have made. And lastly, your mood is affected. And this is the one I think most people will recognise. You're a bit more emotional or a little bit moody, difficult to get on with. And probably you're on a very short fuse. So you lose your temper much more quickly over things that normally you would cope with. And you just generally feel irritable and out of sorts. So doing something about poor sleep is incredibly important, much more important, I think, than most of us realise, than I realised before I knew what I know now. Ideally, we should have 5 sleep cycles a night. So we have these sleep cycles, and it's at the end of the cycle all the serious stuff happens. And the cycle is about 90 minutes. It varies person to person and beginning to end of a night's sleep. But around 90 minutes is the sleep cycle, and you need to get through that sleep cycle to get the beneficial memory benefits and the cell repair benefits and all those other things that I talked about. And we need 5 of those a night, which is why we get the, you need 7-8 hours sleep a night. If you don't get them, or if you don't get 5, or if you wake before the end of sleep cycles, then you're in trouble. You're suffering from the things that I talked about. So what can you do about it? Well, obviously, because of what I do, I know that hypnosis helps, hypnotherapy helps, either self-hypnosis or listening to a recording. So that, as always, is available. Both of those are available if you're interested. So you know where I am. You know how to get in touch with me. And sleep well tonight. Until I see you next time, take care. Bye.